I am so delighted to look into all of your smiling faces and beautiful eyes and welcome you. Hi Facebook, hi Zoom, to welcome you all to this last Sunday in April 2026, the 26th of 26 of April. We gathered this morning to wrap up the theme for this month, which was very strange for all the practitioners who were in service, not till, and then they had to look at my weekly titles and go, And the title today, in case you haven't had an opportunity to see it, you don't know us, because not only is it, as Jenny said, full of color and information and good things, it is also inspirational, and it looks like us. So today we're talking about the blossoms still come. And I've mentioned a few times the yellow iris in my backyard, our backyard, that without any help from us, not even a prayer, they are blooming like they just absolutely cannot control themselves. And what I've noticed as I've been here and there in the past weeks is that that's happening everywhere. Because it's not like we've had any legendary rains, right? Now, there's snow on the mountain, which I'm grateful for, because any sign of moisture anywhere that's nearby is a wonderful thing. But we haven't had enough moisture for the irises to be doing what they're doing. But they don't care. They are still just riotous. I love that word. Riotous with enthusiasm for blooming. And when we are looking at life around us, and we are wondering, as of you who were here last week or have heard last week's talk, as I addressed then, and are wondering, isn't there a greater good? How can I look and see what I see and believe in a greater good? And then I look at my iris. And actually, they're not mine. They're theirs. Those iris clearly belong to themselves. Because I can take no credit. I look and I see the iris. I see these little, tiny, tight buds that the next morning are a rose. I see these little things sprouting up out of the ground that look like a weed, and it's actually a seed of another flower that some bird dropped off that isn't a weed at all. It's something of color and sweetness, and that's how I can know. That's how I can know for sure that there is that which, as Ernest Holmes was quoted already this morning as saying, and it also appears on our Facebook page, there is that which is only for us and never against us. So how do we look at these atrocities that are going on, whether it is people who need services in our own city who haven't yet found them, although I know the people who are determined to service those people are trying hard to find them, or it's a war that makes no sense, in my opinion, that all of a sudden started in the world without any, at least to my knowledge, provocation. Not that provocation would be an excuse, because there's always conversation to be had.
Yep.
Let's talk about how you feel. Let's talk about what you think. How might we find a resolution that serves us all? Now that's a conversation I'd love to be a part of, because that conversation is always available. Assuming that the people who could have those conversations think that they can have those conversations, which apparently, at least at the moment, they don't. So how do we stay in the present? How do we the beauty? How do we continue to see the evidence of life making life and creating wonder all around us and resolving things and solving things that in ways that we never could have imagined? How do we stay in that mode? How do we stay curious? How do we stay engaged in living and choose living in the present moment, in this creative moment, in this delicious moment, and not engaged in worry? Oh, well, Stephen, you never raise your hand. Friends. Friends. Now, how can friends be helpful? A friend, a person who loves you as a friend, may be interested in talking about something other than the news. Because in the conversation, the news may have a short life. They may want to talk about something that's going on with them, or something that's going on with you. Or they may not want to talk about any of that at all. They may want to talk about Iris. They may want to laugh. Where's Rita? For no reason.
No reason.
Laugh.
Joy is free.
Joy is freeing. Is that what you said?
Free.
Free.
It's free.
Joy is free. And do you know what? Beauty's free. Love is free.
Yeah.
It's all free.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost us anything. If it costs us something, that's an agreement that we made that we can say, sorry, I changed my other mind.
Yes.
Because if there's a price to that which is free, it's not for me. Or any of you either, because I said so.
That's a good laugh.
So what's interesting to me about the fact that the blossoms always come is because I've lived here long enough to experience a frost 2 or 3 days before Mother's Day. One of the first, and the reason that I brought up Mother's Day is why? Because one of the very first things that anybody said to me about planting things here is wait until after Mother's Day. And Denise and I have this conversation every year where she'll say, oh no. I'm not making this up. She'll say, oh no. It's the temperature, it's over. We aren't going to have any more winter. We aren't going to have any more frost. And we're fine to
I say
plant
that in
things
February.
now.
I say it in February too.
And I say, not until after Mother's Day. Because I've seen people do a lot of landscaping before Mother's Day, and a big frost happened the day before, 2 days before, the day of Mother's Day. And all of that work goes dormant. But the thing is, I have seen trees covered with blossoms. Absolutely. And those blossoms fall, and weeks later, they're back. Now, where did the tree hide the other blossoms? The backups are in there somewhere. I don't understand, if Bob were here, Patty, I could ask him.
And he'd tell you not to plant until after Mother's Day.
Patty's wonderful, absolutely amazingly brilliant husband was an arborist, which is why I could ask him, where did they hide? Where did the trees put the backup blossoms? Because to my way of thinking, they get one set every season. And I have seen evidence now that that's not the truth. So if that's not the truth, it's also not the truth that we only get one chance. That we only get one chance to make a new decision. We only get one chance to change our mind for the better. We only get one chance to forgive. We only get one shot at love. We only get one chance to bloom. What do we remind each other of every Sunday when we're here?
Renew every moment.
We're new every moment. We're new every day. And so is all of life around us. Because one of the gazillion ways that Spirit works is that it is self-renewing. And it is always refreshing everything. The air that we breathe. Now we're all sitting here breathing the same air. And we all just took a fresh breath. And we all just took another fresh breath. And we all just took another fresh breath. And there seems to be no end. Or we wouldn't be here having this conversation. So it makes sense to me that if the trees are carrying extra blossoms, and I've seen evidence, you know, we humans love evidence. I've seen the evidence. Then it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me just because of my own life experience that we get to renew, we get to review, we get to recharge, we get to reignite, we get to re-inspire every day. And whatever it was that we did to renew, re-inspire, recharge, etc., the day before, that was all fine. But now we're new. Now we're brand new. And our opportunity, being brand new in every moment, is, as I've said before, and you'll hear me say it a million more times, is the absolute bomb of a do-over. Because there is no better do-over than that.
Right.
Oh, I think I will pay attention today to being in my lane, and I will pay attention today to what I think and feel, and I will honor that, and I will choose to be the presence of loving kindness everywhere I go. And we get to make that decision every moment. Denise, you don't mind if I talk about you? No. So these two men were crossing Cerrillos.
Mhm.
They had obviously just been, it looked like grocery shopping. It looked like they were carrying grocery bags, like the paper kind. And they were crossing Cerrillos, and Denise didn't see how one of the men tripped and fell, but down he went, really hard, in the middle of the street. Now, I don't know about you, but Cerrillos, I mean, for those of you who don't know, if you're in LA, it would be like going down in the middle of Cerrillos is not a place where I would want to fall, let alone be carrying groceries and drop everything. And everything went to the ground and all over the ground. Now, Denise was on her way to get her car serviced. And Mazda was right there. So she was going to be in proximity to where this all happened right in front of her. She parked her car at Mazda. She walked out into the street
With bags.
with grocery bags that were plastic, like the ones that you're given and so on. And she offered the guys the bags. She helped them pick stuff up. Meanwhile, they're still standing in the middle of Cerritos. And all of this happened in perfect safety. And one of the things that fell, that was all over the street, was a dozen eggs. And she gave them $5 to replace the eggs.
She's a good woman.
She is a good woman. My point is, that could have happened in front of any of us. Would we have thought about walking out into the middle of Cerritos to help these guys who had such a mess on their hands? I'm not looking for answers. The reason that I point out what Denise did is this could have happened to any of us. Any of us could have been in this circumstance. We could have been witness to people in trouble where we don't always have the capacity to help. You know, if somebody pulls off the side of the freeway, I am not going to pull off the side of the freeway behind them and ask them if I can assist them in some way, because it's likely they would ask me to do something to their engine or generator or one of those things, and I wouldn't even know where it was. So I'm not going to offer to help where I have no idea where to begin. But would we offer to help in this kind of situation? We are in a unbelievably, fabulously unique position. We're alive right now. We have resources. We have skills. We have friends. We have the capacity to figure stuff out. One of the things that we have clearly figured out is that life works differently than we may have believed it worked before.
Mm-hmm.
And that we have a divine inner wisdom, a sacred inner wisdom that is the universal intelligence that is accessible to us 24/7, where we can get answers to things like, what should I do? How should I handle this? What are the other options to the questions that I've already been asking myself that are only come back with bad outcomes? Are there always always other possibilities. Believe me, if trees that have already lost all their blossoms can make new blossoms, there are already always other possibilities. We give up too easily. We succumb to the seduction of the negative. And it is seductive. Because why else would we go there? Why else would we go down that black brick road and look at, well, this will probably happen, and then that will probably happen, and then this other thing will probably happen. And by then, who wants to think about what will happen? Who can even get back to central, to thought central, and go, oh, well, this could happen. Oh, and if that happens, then this could happen. And this really good thing could happen. Oh, I think I'll set myself up for that. As we go through our days, as we go through our moments, as we go through our hours, that's right. Did y'all hear the birds out there singing happily?
Yes.
Give it a whirl. See if you can find some curiosity, some inner curiosity. Don't bother with where you've already gone in your mind, because our mental tendency is to go where it's been. Bob's a physicist. He wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes as a physicist if he wasn't willing to explore unknown answers to questions. If he didn't have that curiosity, he wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes in his profession of choice. What are we doing here if we're not making use, good use, of our capacities, which are expanding every day whether we recognize it or not, of our capacities to live a richer life and to make new blossoms? And so it is.
Yes.